as you go through the sales process, we know priorities change, right? Other things come up and they suddenly, boom, they're over in that direction. And I guess the discipline that we teach, and this is true for SEs as well, is you always got to go back to what your buyer's trying to solve. Without going back to what your buyer's trying to solve, you're totally lost. And SEs can have that skill. Look, SEs are often really good at questions, right? That's what they do.
Yeah.
And they're really good at being consultative, and that's why they build a ton of trust. What I see with SEs often is they're not situationally fluent as they should be, right? They get locked into one thing.
Yeah.
As opposed to just pivoting to, like, you know well that the product solves three major problems. So SEs should feel empowered to kind of think about that next problem if we're hitting a roadblock on one. So let me give you another example. We did work with a company called Guild Education, which basically is a marketplace for degrees. They work with a bunch of universities to then tailor corporate programs, training programs, bringing degrees, and they provide a lot of guidance on the career pathways. And so it's a great tool for recruiting, promotion, retention, right? Skill attainment. When the work I did with them was about exactly this sales to technical sales handoff. Just listen to a bunch of gong calls, and what you found was a brilliant technical sales force that the first thing they heard from the buyer of area of interest, they would just go into what, it wasn't product pitching. It was a new term that came to me, insight pitching. They would pitch, hey, we've done this with this company. Hey, have you read this study? Hey, they wouldn't stop and just ask a friggin' question.
Yeah, I've actually seen that quite a bit from sales engineers where they get excited about the solution. They start solving the problem before they actually confirm that it is the problem that the customer is trying to solve, which is what you mentioned. Like, go back to what problems the customers are trying to solve, which is interesting. What else have you seen SEs? Let's not call it mistakes. What other things that SEs need to work on to improve?
Yeah, before I have another couple that are I think great ones, but let's just focus on this concept that SEs, as much as salespeople, as much as customer success people, need to think about the buyer success statement. The buyer success statement is the buyer saying in their own words what would make them successful. Until you have a buyer success statement, you do not have a sales opportunity. Exclamation point.
Yeah, no, that's the quote that I'm going to go with for this call. Okay.
It's true. So if you are an SE and you feel that energy, oh, I think there's something there, right? I'm really excited to share. We saw that problem. Just got to develop the muscle to stop and ask a question. Did I hear this correctly? Is this what you're trying to solve? Is this what would make you more successful? And get them to confirm, because until they've confirmed it, to your point, you could be answering the wrong problem.
So yeah, we talk about objection handling. There's a gentleman by the name of Doug Brown who wrote a book about like win-win selling, how to do objection handling. And the first thing he says, if a customer objects to something, take a breath, right? and try to dig in and understand why. And it's the same thing when the customer gives you a tidbit of information. Take a breath. Maybe it's a red herring and you're going down the wrong rabbit hole. Maybe you heard someone say something at some point and they just mentioned it and they think that's the solution versus the actual solution. What is the role of the salesperson in all this? If you see an SE just hitting the gas pedal and going, and
it's both. I mean, it's a great instinct, Ramsey. Is we talk about in our book, we talk about the pullback to product pitching is incredibly strong for everybody throughout the sales process, because our product is familiar, right? Yeah. And it's easy to talk about. When we're fluidly talking about your buyer success statement, that's a little scary, right? Because could go a bunch of different. So the product is familiar. And the second thing is customers ask for product information all the time. Often they need help being guided to their success statement. It's really easy for them to say, hey, show a demo. Hey, click on that, click on that. Pullback to product pitching is really strong, which is why everybody has to reinforce, hey, have we gotten to that buyer? on both sides? Have we gotten to that buyer success statement? Do we know what we're solving for? And honestly, you do a call, every call, you got to restart it with, hey, today, I think we've had 2 calls, stakeholder meeting, first slide, discovery to date. I think this is what we're solving for. This is what we've heard from Joe and Sally. Does everybody on this call agree that our demo today is focused on those problems? This is what we're working on. Always come back to that in the proposal. Always come back to that buyer success statement and confirm it.